our next lesson. This time we're saddling Beta. We're going to do with him what we did with Alpha in our last lesson. And then in the near future, we're going to start doing cart driving, pulling lessons with a saddle on. Why not? Let them get really used to having some sort of weight on their backs when we're asking them to pull. They're certainly capable. We won't go beyond their strength needs. They weren't quite as responsive to come in today, but Tavis did it himself. He didn't need arm extensions and all of that. And Beta has the saddle on and he seems to be doing fine. And I keep watching for my little red dot to make sure I'm videoing. And it's Sonia Sokolow, the urban alpaca girl, doing the videoing because we're still short on team members. The economy is so bad that most of the people that wanted to volunteer and enjoyed hanging around the alpacas have to do other things with their time in order to get gas and be able to drive their vehicles. That's the way I see what's happening here. And I feel that we're headed into a monumental depression, recession era, but we'll see. In the meantime, we try to do what we want to do here at Shadrach Farms. And that's really good what you're doing, Tavis. And Beta, you see his ears are back. He's saying, well, I wonder what he's doing. That's what his body language is saying. But so far, he's not being naughty. He's not being impatient. And Alpha, it looks like he's gonna follow along with us. But in the meantime, he wants to have snacks. And he's got either yellow grass or green grass everywhere to eat around here. Okay. This is probably not going to be a long lesson unless Beta starts misbehaving. But we're doing what we can do to get them desensitized to weight on their backs. And then we have to be concerned about how sensitive they are sometimes to feelings on the sides of their body and on their legs, both upper and lower. And I do have a arm extension for touching them there, hanging from fences here and there for convenience. If we need it, I can go get one. Oh, it looks like Tavis is going to go get one that we have at probably at our tack collection site. And Beta is saying, where is he going? Yeah, he didn't expect that, but he didn't get upset. He's just a little bit concerned, trying to figure it out. Okay, and I'm going to stand back here, holding on to my portable panel fence. Mostly all of this can be categorized as desensitization training. Very important with livestock. And I am going to be creating a Shadrach large farm animal camp for families to bring their children. And we're going to show them our videos, show them in person where the boys are and any further herd mates that we get in all of this training. This is ongoing training of large farm animals at Shadrach Farms Sanctuary. That's very good. His ears are back. He's wondering. He's not freaked out yet. I watched quite a long, detailed video of a man doing this with his llamas. And it doesn't matter if it's an alpaca, a llama, a horse, or donkey. They just have to be desensitized. They just have to understand that it's no big deal to feel something where they don't usually feel something. Because let's face it, when you've got a saddle on, when you're pulling a cart, when you're walking through high grasses, you can't be sure what will be touched on their bodies. And because they are animals, prey animals, they are very sensitive. There we go. Okay, yeah, he's saying, what is that? Get rid of it. That's what he was not trying to kick anybody. He's just trying to get rid of that feeling he didn't understand. And now he's looking at Tavis and he's saying, what's next? What's next, trainer? I have to say that I'm quite pleased with both boys' progress. And I'll keep showing you, as long as I can, every single lesson so that you can see what works and doesn't work. I'm carefully walking through the uneven ground here, and it looks like Beta is having no problem so far, other than a couple kicks because he felt something on his upper rear leg on the right side. Okay, and Tavis is very good. Now Beta's saying, wait a minute. No, okay, he said, okay, I'll go in there. And when we come out in the morning, we load carrots. We make sure that the rubber mats are all lined up. We make sure that the lights are off and the gates are the way they should be. And then we let the boys be happy, hang around, and do what alpaca boys choose to do until it's time for school. And then they're in the mode now where when they see us, they say, okay, let's go to the training area. We know we have to go there. In other words, let's go to school. Good, good. And Tavis is just using his logic, and he's very good at that because he knows my alpaca boys better than anybody. We're going to start thinking about providing community services with my alpaca boys, both here at my Rancho's Ranch and at my Golden Oaks Ranch, and then at my acreage, which is a commercial residential property that has other surroundings. Like it has an NID waterway, a pond. Would we be able to get them to walk into it? My property line goes into it. That would be another challenge that we may choose to face, to take, to show you. That pond is usually frequented daily by ducks, geese, chickens. There'll be all kinds of unusual animals there, very likely, and I just want the boys to say, oh, okay, I know who you are. I'm not worried. Yes. Okay. And he says, I think I'm supposed to be stepping into my pool. Yes, he did that very good. Will he step into the NID pond at my wolf property? We'll see one of these days. It's of course has a bank, but nothing steep, but it will be stepping into ground that's softer since it's got pond water on it. I just saw a little bit of resistance in his head. Can you go out to the big pasture too, please? This can be a short lesson if he's behaving well, but let's expose him to everything that his buddy Alpha did in our last lesson and make sure he's okay on it. He's watching the gate open and he's saying, okay. He's leading out with Tavis. This is like taking a dog for a walk. And if they don't understand a leash walk with a harness or without a harness, you have to help them understand it. Now, if families were here right now that wanted their kids to understand and be with and enjoy farm animals, would I allow someone who has never worked with Beta walk down that path to the big pasture? Eventually, my answer to that will be yes, if we've done it enough to know that Beta is not going to freak out at anything that he usually sees here. And Tavis is putting some right-hand weight in the saddle as if somebody may be on the saddle. And of course, the first few times that we do saddle riding, we'll have somebody at the lead line so that if there is a problem, there'll be control. And I'm walking the short way, which is flatter and more weed-free this time of year. But in the winter, I can't walk this way because it's very muddy and slippery. Unless I add a rock path, which I may or may not do by next winter. A slight breeze, a blue sky, not real hot yet. We're walking out into my rancho's big pasture, which, recall, has 5 gates out. Uh-oh, a little bit of a freak out there. No, we don't want that happening. He's upset by a feeling that he doesn't understand. And what is it? Did you remember to put the extra holes in the saddle?
Yeah.
Yeah, good. So the saddle is more securely on his back. He's kicking out. And see, there's nothing touching his back legs, but there's something touching him, and he doesn't understand it. So it appears to me his reaction is to kick it away. And you know what? There's that bag hanging on the right side of the saddle, and that might be touching him. Here comes Alpha. Because it's on the right side, and that's where he's kicking. He just doesn't understand what's touching him. Okay, we seem to have us focused now. When we get back to the training tacking area, I'm going to ask Tavis to take that extra hanging item off the saddle. We may on purpose put it back on again to see if there's going to be an issue in the future, but for now, we're trying to make this straightforward, simple behavioral objective with a saddle on your back and various weights on your back. Will you be able to walk around all this beautiful ranch land, farmland at my rancho's property? Not just in the big pasture, but around it. And I'm hoping that my hands are staying steady so that this video will be comfortable to watch. You know, I'm putting myself in Beta's position, and he is feeling something he doesn't understand. I'll bet you it's that black hanging thing on the right side of his saddle. And the way we'll know is repetition. We'll take it off and we'll come back out here again, maybe tomorrow. We are scheduled for another lesson, and there's that bag. And there is one line hanging there that might be touching him. I understand his concern, considering who he is and what his prerequisite skills are. Who he is, a prey animal, prerequisite skills. If we've had the saddle on him at all in the past, it was maybe one time, quite a while ago. Okay, now he's stepping in his water tub. He likes that. This area, by the way, could accommodate another large farm animal or two, but presently we're using it to store my Kubota tractor, which goes back and forth to my various properties this time of year, being July 8th, to control the ground cover. Look how Alpha's following along. I love that. I love that he wants to share this experience for one reason or another with his buddy Beta. There's no doubt that he's following along with Beta. And we're heading for the tacking area. Now, am I going to down him in his grade because of that kicking out? You know, I'm not going to, because I think with repetition it will stop. So I'm going to give him maybe an A-, just because he didn't focus and trust us enough to say, okay, I'm not worried about that feeling, assuming that's what he was kicking out at. And remember, my experiences with large farm animals like horses and cows, but for the last couple of years I've been joyously working with my alpacas, applying my prior experiences to the situation, not being sure what the behavior will be, dealing with what I anticipate will happen, or if something happens that I don't anticipate, how to deal with it. And that's what this Urban Alpaca Girl show is all about on YouTube, to help other people train their alpacas, or for families who want their children to learn more about alpacas, camelids. Now he's taking off the saddle. He's being okay with it. His ears are going back and forth, but they're not flat back, which I have seen him do if he's really concerned. Okay, and remember we have a saddle pad on him. While the camera's on, I'm going to have Tavis, after we untack Beta, I'm going to have him take that bag off, and I think there's something in the bag so we can see why it was hanging there. There's nothing in it?
Nothing really.
Okay, but can you take it off easily? Or do we have to untie a knot? Or somehow it was hanging from the arm of the toy that's in the saddle.
It might be good. You want to take it off?
I want to take it off because
Okay.
our next lesson, I want to do this again and see if he kicks out. Otherwise, I don't understand what he was kicking out at.
That first time, I had reached back with the little poker and got him on the back. That's why.
Yeah, but out there in the big pasture, what was he kicking at?
I tapped him on the back.
You did?
Yeah.
Oh. Well, okay. We'll,
This it might be good just to have something.
I'm not sure, but is it hard to take off and put on again if we want to?
I can cut it off.
Cut it off or untie it? Well, go ahead and cut it. We could make another knot. I'm trying to isolate the independent variables that we're noticing might be having some interaction with the learning objectives of my alpacas, in this particular case, Beta. So we're taking it off, okay. And then we'll choose to put it back on when we've understood its interaction with Beta's behavior, pulling or allowing a saddle with various weights to be put on his back. So what I think we might do for tomorrow, I'm hoping we can meet again at this time and the weather's supposed to be the same, is put the saddle back on his back without that bag and put some sort of weight from that plastic bag on the saddle. Okay, which we can vary by adding more weight into it. Okay, I'm comfortable with making this a short lesson. I'm comfortable with saying that Beta got at least an A-. I'm glad that Alpha was concerned enough to come out to see what was going on. Okay, all right, he said, oh, good. Now I know where I can go if that panel is just opened up for me. Yep, he says, yep, that's how I can get out. Okay, I'm gonna trot out. Is he gonna join Alpha, who's busy eating green grass? Yes, he wants to get busy eating green grass. So I'm glad to have shown you this session. I'll upload it, and please subscribe, tune in, I hope, for tomorrow morning's lesson, again with Beta. Thank you. Sonia Sokolov at gmail.com, the Urban Alpaca Girl.